Sup friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about easy things you can make on your Sentro machine. I personally haven't come across a video that gives you kind of easy things to make on a knitting machine that isn't a hat or a scarf. I will be linking videos I found really helpful with learning how to use my knitting machine in the description box as I did last time. I tried to keep everything relatively simple so you were able to follow it without needing to figure out too much or learn too much. You're going to be using your panel setting and your tube setting for some of these, and yeah, I think everything came out really cute. I personally feel really happy with it. So that's what we're doing today. So for this one, this is a scrap yarn project if you've got extra yarn that you won't be using. We're going to go ahead and switch to panel setting. We're going to cast on 5 pins using back and forth motions. And then we're going to go ahead and guide our yarn through the yarn guide and the tension hook. I decided to put it through all 3 loops of my tension hook just to make sure it was nicely knitted. Then I started cranking out as many rows as I felt. Just keep going until you have a length that you feel comfortable with. You can also go ahead and make this as wide as you want. Obviously, if you want a wider, bigger bow, go ahead and cast on more than 5 pins. But I felt like 5 was a perfect width for this kind of accessory. So this is me just going back and forth until I felt like I hit a length that was good enough to do a decent bow with. Then I grabbed my scissors and my darning needle to start casting off. Now to cast off, you want to take your yarn out of the guide and the hook and crank your work off. And we're going to go back into that and pick up the stitches that have been left on the machine. This is a really delicate process, so take your time. There are links in my description box that will help you learn how to become a pro at casting off, but it is very simple once you get the hang of it. Here I'm cinching the ends to kind of fold it in on itself and weaving it in to secure that. Snipping off the ends, and we have a beautiful hair bow. This isn't my personal style preference, but I've seen these trending everywhere, like crocheted and knitted hair bows. So this is a cool, fun way to use up some scrap yarn, get into panel knitting and all that good stuff. For the next one, we're going to be using a tubeless setting. Same as last time, we're casting on using back and forth motions all the way around our machine until you get to the very last hook. Then you want to guide your yarn back through the yarn guide and then back through your tension guide. I once again went through all 3 because that's just my personal preference, but it depends on how loose or tight you want your stitches. Don't forget to reset your counter. Do not forget to reset your counter, it's so important. This project, probably one of my favorites out of all of them because I think it came out really cute and it's so easy. You're just going to keep cranking around in a circle. It's great practice if you've got one of these machines. You just want to kind of get to grips of how it works. You just keep cranking. You just crank and crank and crank. And I did 120 rows, but this is down to how long your arms are, how long you want your sleeves to be. When my project is starting to hit the table, I roll it inside out and just put it to lie on top of my work. And I just keep cranking. It's not going to pull anything off the hooks. It's just going to sit there very nicely and avoid knocking into your machine. Then we're going to snip our yarn, pull it out of the guide and the hooks, and start to cast off again making sure we crank slowly to release our stitches, attaching our yarn to our darning needle and picking up all of these stitches from the machine. Once that was done, I flipped my work the right side out. You can decide what side you want. I kind of go for the side that doesn't have any like knitted lines in it. This bit's so satisfying. You pull your work to kind of get the full length of it all. Here is one I made earlier. You want to repeat everything we did for the first sleeve on the second one. Grab some of the yarn that you used to create this with if you have some left. Creating a slip knot, and with that slip knot I'm just going to pull it through 2 loops from that sleeve and start chaining. This is like great practice if you're trying to get into crochet as well. You can just practice how to chain. I just chained 70 chains on both of the sleeves, and that created like the bow that would help me tie it up at the back. I would recommend doing this twice, so 2 sets of 70 chains on both sleeves to create a bit more of a secure look, and also to, I guess, kind of hold the sleeves up a little bit, because I feel like mine needed a little bit more like security. I feel like the chain that I'd created wasn't enough. So if you do one like at the top and at the bottom, I think that could be a cute look, and it makes it look a little bit more complete as well, but that's down to personal preference. Yep, so I'm just fastening off, tying my work up, and creating a bow to show you guys exactly how it all works together. I really feel like having a second bow would have been really helpful in just having it stay up more, but hey, it's fine. It looks cute anyway. In our next project, we're going to be making a tube top. We're going to stay in the tube setting just as we did for our sleeves. We're going to cast on the way that we have done, going from the first pin and weaving in and out while cranking our machine slowly. You want to feed it through the yarn guide, tension guide. I chose the middle one because I want it to have a little bit more give. And you want to crank out, I cranked out 100 rows for this. It's down to how long you want your tube top, tank top to be. I personally wanted it cropped. I'm actually looking at it now thinking maybe this could be something for the summertime, because it's very cute. These colours worked very well. And once I felt happy with the amount of like sunset orange I had, I then went and changed colour. And I'm going to try and give you a brief explanation of how I did that. To change colour, I snipped off my working yarn and let that lie on the work, keeping it hooked under the hook it was last on. And then with my new colour, I hooked it under the upcoming hook. So the hook right next to that, I hooked it under, fed it through the yarn guide, the tension guide, and I held it and just kept cranking. That's how you change colour seamlessly. To kind of keep it secure, just tie it off. You don't have to knot it right here. You can if you wish, but I just tie it a little bit and knot it later. And I kept cranking out. I think I stopped at 80 rows and I cranked out another 20 in the orange. I went ahead and cast it off. Yeah, I think it came out cute just as it is. So if you want to stop here, you don't have to, but I wanted a little bit more security for me because this doesn't fit me very well. And I do have kind of bigger boobs, I guess. So I went ahead and I created some straps to make a halter neck. I tied some yarn to the top. This time I knotted it instead of slip knotting it because I think it would hold it more secure. I went ahead and I chained 65, used my crochet hook, and I did that twice. So I did another one, same length, same way, tying it on, And that is how it looked at the end. It came out really cute. I like this. It was very quick to make, and I feel like if you were trying to like start like a little business, you could definitely crank out like 20 of these in maybe 2 hours or even less. So that's a little cute fun project to do that's really easy. So next we're going to be creating a knitted vest. I didn't really film this too in depth, so I'm really sorry, but it's the same concept as my sweater that I crocheted just without the sleeves. So essentially you're creating 2 panels, both 100 rows. Once you've made your 100 rows, we're going to cast off just the same way we did with all our other projects, just unhooking our yarn from the tension guide, cranking your work off and picking up the stitches left on your machine with your darning needle. And once you have 2 panels that are exactly the same, you want to go ahead and try and line up the seams as well as you possibly can on the top, and then also mark where you want your armholes to go. I decided to make my armholes quite big. You can decide on this depending on the size of your arms, but I decided to make mine quite big and spacious. And then to create the neckline, I didn't measure it out this time, but if you want a more precise, accurate fit for your neck hole, go ahead and measure that out. You just have to measure across your collarbone. I decided to freestyle mine because I didn't really mind too much if it didn't come out exactly perfect. Then for my armholes, I slip stitched all the way down from my stitch marker to the bottom of my work. Then I removed my stitch markers, turned my work right side out, and this is the final look. I think it's really cute. I think it's going to look great when it's actually summertime. It's quite a light knitted vest, so it's going to work out amazing. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys felt inspired. I hope you guys found something that maybe you want to try out. If you do try these out, remember to tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you create. Don't forget to let me know what you want to see from me in my comment section. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button to keep up with me and everything I do on here. And I will see you in my next video.